Welcome back to the Good Gossip Podcast. I'm Todd Revis.
And I'm Melissa Elizondo.
I tried to even lift it at the end. I'm Todd Revis, and I'm
I'm
throwing
Melissa
it to you. That's funny. So we just finished recording episode 6, which will be out next week. We are releasing episode 5 tomorrow.
Well, we got to talk in the past because technically ours is coming out after that. But anyway,
I tell you what.
The point is those two will be out already.
Yeah. That's right. By the time you hear this.
Yeah.
Gosh,
we're episode 7 and 6 was last
It's so
weekend.
hard to talk about and that's one of the things about this podcast, about doing a podcast that is released later, obviously, is it's like time travel in a way.
Constantly. It's like having to remember the time split between Central to Pacific.
Yeah.
We're 2 hours behind or ahead. What is it? I don't know.
So we're three episodes from now.
Yeah.
You'll be hearing this,
Yeah.
which is weird. So you're going to get to hear Daryl and then Melanie. Wow, I almost did it again. I did it in the podcast.
We cut it though, so you didn't see it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
We thought we would take this opportunity to just kind of chill, like stop and smell the roses and say, okay, we've done 5 in-studio guests. Where are we? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. So is this what we thought it was going to be? That's a big question. I don't remember what I thought it was going to be. That's the point. I think because again, I texted you in January and said, let's do a podcast. Mm-hmm. Because we had just started doing that podcast club with just me and you, 2 people in the club.
Which is still awesome.
Yeah.
I love doing that.
I still love doing that, yeah.
I want to do that with all my friends because it's a way to get people to listen to something. Anytime I listen to an amazing podcast, I share it with my wife and I tell her about it. Oh, you got to listen to this. And she probably doesn't, it's just, I'm like the little boy who cried wolf, I'm sure. And so she's just like, okay, whatever, Todd. And that's just not, she doesn't love the same things I love. She loves certain podcasts and she loves certain shows on TV and we don't have the exact same interests. Mm-hmm. And I may be in a different place in my growth in my life right then, emotionally, spiritually, business, whatever. And so I needed that. And so that was like a nugget to me. That was really cool, but she may not need that right now. And so it's not going to affect her the same way. Mm-hmm. And I'm that person that wants you to be just as excited as I am about something. Yeah. And everyone who loves me knows that. And they understand that's not always going to be true. But I want everybody to, listen to this. I love it. And you're the same way.
Oh, same way. I just did it this week, actually. So I listened to a Brian Buffini podcast from March 2nd. He interviewed Bob Bodine, and he wrote a book called The Power of Who. You have everybody you need in your life right now.
And she sent it to me.
Yeah, I sent it to him. Then I went to networking group. I told all of them the summary about it, and I made everybody's ask that week. So normally when you do a networking group, they do their 60-second commercial, and they're like, I do this, and I want anybody and everybody who could do business with me. And instead, I said, okay, this is what I learned in the podcast, is that we are already in your life to help you excel in your life. Like God put us here.
Everybody you need is
you
already
know.
You already know.
You already know. Everybody you need, you already know. So we asked him, who do you need to be introduced to? And they went around the table and said, okay, I need to be introduced to this person or a type of person. And every person had somebody in the group say, oh, I know somebody for you. Oh, yeah, I'm going to introduce you. Because that's what it's about, right? Mm-hmm. It's about connecting. So yeah, I get off on this tangent too, and I just start, promoting people. But I don't know what I wanted this podcast to be other than I wanted to tell stories. I wanted people to tell their stories, and we wanted those good stories to come out. And
that's certainly what it's become. Yeah. I'm not sure either one of us saw it that pinpointedly. Mm-hmm. I think we chose people up to this time. We've chosen people that we find fascinating and interesting, and that we think other people will find fascinating and interesting. And the pressure that's on us, I think, is how do we get them to be fascinating and interesting, asking the right questions, engaging them in the proper way so that that will come across like what we were initially attracted to or think they should be. And that's been easy because they are doing that, right? It's we're not doing that. They are. I lost my train of thought. I was talking about, I think that it's become something where we're learning more than we thought we would learn.
Yes. Okay. So First episode, Stephanie Pescon. What I took away from that episode was the whole hearsay thing. The whole, did they really say that? And giving people the opportunity to tell their side of the story, right? That changed my household. Like, that episode was over a month ago, I think. And to this day, I've had no conflict in my household because I take people at face value. If they say, I just want to help, then they're just trying to help. They're not saying I'm a bad mom. They're not saying I'm a bad person. They just want to help me. And I'm allowing them to. I'm allowing them to be who they want to be.
It's interesting that you interpret it that way. And I haven't used it like that in my own life, but I listen to what people say, and hearsay is not acceptable. And I've caught myself, look, I gossip sometimes. I'm not perfect. And although it's very much in my face that I don't want to be that person. And I did it today with you. I was about to tell you a story.
Yeah.
And I stopped myself. I was like, nope, that's gossip. I've never done that before. So I've done that a couple times this week, and then sometimes you start talking, you realize this is gossip. Yeah. I know that I'm with someone I really trust and it's gossip. Yeah. And so I don't want to do it at all. Hearsay. Mm-hmm. That person's not there to defend themselves. So yeah,
I did that this week too. I was at a funeral and somebody was talking about somebody, and I didn't know who they were talking about. They didn't tell me who they were talking about, but they were telling me stuff, and I fought the urge to want to know, because obviously there's something in me going, who is it? Yeah. Tell me. You're telling me this much, but then I was
funny. That's the other side of gossip, like the listener.
Right, there's responsibility there to not engage.
Because you do want to hear, like, what? Who is what?
Of course.
I've done that. Right? My kids do that. It's like, if my wife and I are talking and one of my kids overhears us talking about something, they'll say, what happened? Yeah. And it's like, it's none of your business, but it's all this, what happened? What happened? Who was it? Yeah. No, man, that's not our right to share that. And we've gotten better about that.
Yeah. I loved Laura's, feeding the people. I love what her dad instilled in her. It got me thinking about just legacy. What we've been instilled with from our parents. I loved her episode. She was a lot of fun. And she didn't cuss once. That was awesome. We didn't have to bleep anything out. She was awesome.
Yeah, that's funny. She definitely was on her best behavior.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people loved that episode, and they've commented on that.
Yeah.
And
they're like, God, you do everything. Is there anything you don't do, for her?
I think it just perpetuated what her friends already knew about her.
Yeah.
But it introduced her to some people that maybe didn't know her, only know her from social. And, she's one of those names around our town that if you say her name, everybody knows her if they're on Facebook, because she's very out there on Facebook. But not a lot of people know her personally. And so when you see a person, just their profile, and then you get to talk to them through a podcast medium, you get to get inside of them a little bit.
It's like introducing our friends to the world, right?
Oh, that's exactly what this is. I told somebody, I don't know who it was, but I think I was talking to my boss, and I said, I have 3 brothers, and there are people that I come across that I'm like, oh my gosh, you would be best friends with my big brother. Like, I wish y'all could meet and hang out, but that's never going to happen. I know it's not. But as soon as I have you on my podcast, my brother's going to get to know you. And I'm going to say, see, this is the guy I'm telling you about. But it's the same thing at my Bible study or at work. I'm always talking about my pastor or talking about my friend, my singing friend that they'll never meet. And it's like, man, I get to introduce my friends, my people, to my family in Dallas and my family in Virginia and all over the place. It's so cool. What a powerful tool we have.
Yeah, we definitely, and I think we have a responsibility, to make sure that we honor their story and what it is that they're doing with their life. They're all very humble, right? And we're pulling things out of them. I loved, Randy Van's story. His video has so many views on it where he almost cried, like the emergency situation.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that when we had him on, we said that right before this episode, it hit 10,000 hits, right? on YouTube. And where was it the following Saturday or Sunday?
350,000 views. It was
And it
crazy.
had nothing to do with us.
No,
That's
no.
not the
We may have contributed 20.
I ran into Judge Bascon
Yeah.
at the coffee shop like always, and I told her about that,
Yeah.
and I told her about that episode and that, and she was like, she almost like, oh wow, that's you guys are powerful. And I was like, no, it wasn't us. It happened.
I think Josh texted me from the Total Nonsense podcast the other day, and he said, I am never flying a plane now, thank you. So, I mean, like the funny comments I get, I've met with so many people over the last few weeks that have said, oh, I watched your podcast. I love your energy with Todd. I've gotten very interesting feedback. You know?
That's what Nancy, my wife, says, energy, dynamic, whatever, that they enjoy our banter. And we're just being ourselves.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be on a podcast. You just
Oh,
mentioned it.
So we'll be guests on Total Nonsense. It may come out by the time this airs. I'm not really sure. We're actually going to record with them Thursday night and talk about.
But it'll be on the phone.
Talk
like,
about
we'll be on our
everybody
computers.
we know. We already need everybody we need in our life right now. We already know.
Is that
That
what
was
we're
an
talking about?
introduction from your friend Heidi. So
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Heidi
So
introduced us
Heidi,
to them.
Heidi's awesome. She was actually a guest on their podcast. Did you see that?
Yeah.
She beat us because of the technical difficulties. We tried to do this once before, and my computer was from like 1980, I guess, and so we could never hook it up because we're doing it like we're calling in to their show.
Calling in.
And so I was so super excited about Heidi seeing that on Facebook and going, oh my gosh, because when she first heard that we were doing a podcast, she commented on Facebook, like, is everybody I know doing a podcast now? Is that the thing now? Because her friends from work were doing one called Total. They were just two buddies from work that may not even live in the same state.
They don't.
Yeah, they're like corporate uppers or whatever. And they decided to do it. And so they're in split screen at their own homes. No, they don't do video.
They don't do video. They just do the recording, which is cool. But she said, I heard it's a good thing to be on other people's podcasts. So she
connected. Yeah.
Exactly. Everybody we need in our life, we already know. They will connect us to whoever else we need to know. I'm on that soapbox.
And
right
I think
now.
we've talked about this, but a lot of the people we listen to on podcasts or read their books or whatever, we've found on other people's podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Like we listen to Brian Buffini, and then this guy shows up, and then your buddy, the story guy, was on.
Donald Miller.
Donald Miller was. You found him somewhere, but he was on Buffini.
Yeah.
Some of the most brilliant people I've started listening to, I've found on other people's podcasts.
Oh yeah, me too. And but also let's scale that down to local. Some of the best people I know around here in our own town, in our own area, in my own state, I've met from other people that I know. Actually, our producer, Austin, who's not on camera right now, I met Austin, a year and a half ago? About a year, right? Yeah. Okay. So it was a year ago, and it was through my printer. So, I have a marketing agency, and a lot of times we print things, and I had an article written about me in the New Braunfels Monthly magazine a couple years ago, and the owner of that print shop reached out to me because of that article and said, I love what you said, that there's plenty of business for everyone. And the thing is, we can do graphics, but we don't have to. We're really a print shop. And she reached out to me. I went and met her. We became friends. I started doing all my local printing with her. And his wife is, his sister is married to my printer's son. I don't remember. Anyway, there's connection there. The point is. Hillary ended up emailing
somebody
me
you
and
knew
said,
knew Austin.
Yeah, so Hillary said, hey, Austin is looking to get into graphics, which was funny. So talk about like change. And actually,
now he's your videographer, producer guy.
But he had video background, and so we just morphed into that relationship. But yeah, she hooked me up with Austin, and he's producing our show now and has all the cool equipment, and we just show up and talk.
Yeah, that's what I think makes this possible for me. Is I don't have to be as artistically involved. I can work on content, work on making sure we're asking the right questions and getting the right guests, and just be me and not have to worry about like what mic should I buy?
Yeah.
What lights should I use? I don't want to know.
Yeah, me either. I don't want to
even
either. I thought I did actually at one point. I don't anymore. I'm good. You handle that.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
And we don't give him enough credit.
Yeah.
Because he does this. He does all of it. We just sit here and talk.
Yeah.
Well, man, I guess I do this a lot, but every once in a while I had something I was thinking about, and then blank. No, I know.
And then it comes back 2 seconds later.
Right as
when
I'm
he addresses
complaining about that, it comes back.
Yeah.
You know,
You did it again. Come on.
man, okay. It was about what you said about there's enough business for everyone.
Yeah.
And that's a philosophy that I figured out personally probably 5 years ago, 6 years ago. I was living in Seguin, working in New Braunfels, doing real estate. I'm a real estate agent, licensed real estate agent with RE/MAX, and as of May 6th of last year, I was promoted to the Director of Opportunity, which is basically a recruiter. So my job is to expand RE/MAX by showing the value of RE/MAX to other agents in town that would like to have a different culture that they're involved with. And I'm not, the cool thing, well, I'll get to that. I was driving to New Braunfels one day and I saw a listing sign from a competitive realtor. And the feeling I got was like totally from a scarcity place. Like, why did they get that listing? Man, and it was because I was broke probably, and I was feeling scarce and feeling like, where's my next check going to come from? And I was frustrated that I don't even know who they were or what they did to get that. It doesn't matter, right? So I had to say, wait a minute. I did this exercise with myself. I caught myself in the moment and I said, how many people purchase houses in this area, just Comal County, for on a monthly basis? And there's both sides, there's seller and buyer. So double that number. And the title companies are all closing those deals, right? That could be right now like 3,000, could be 4,000, could be 2,000. I don't really know. Yeah. I couldn't handle all that business.
Right.
If you gave me every one of those deals, and if I was the only person that was allowed to close any of those deals, I couldn't do it. I would give horrible service to everyone. Yep. So I realized at that point, what do I need? What do I want? And is that 4 a month? Is that 5 a month? Is that 2 a month? Everyone's situation is different. And so I realized at that point, I let it go. And I was released from caring if that person listed with this Johnny or with Susie. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I have what I need, and I'm working with who I'm supposed to be working with, who God put in my life. And I can focus on that and give great service and not stress out about it. So I all of a sudden had a growth mindset when it came to that, and not a reactionary mindset. Yeah. So there is enough for everyone.
There is. I walked in on other graphic designers working on things for my clients. And I had to say, well, they needed the business more than I did. It is totally fine. You do good work. Great. I'm fine with that. And everybody's different and everybody gets along with different people. So again, I couldn't handle everybody who needs it anyway. Yeah. Yeah. I already had to hire 15 people just to handle what I got. So,
and I love sharing. Like, I know another really good marketing company, the Russo Group out of Lafayette, Louisiana, and I know him through singing. Mm-hmm. And every time they put something out, I send it to you.
Yeah. I was like, I know that company. Yeah, how would I know it? Because of you. Yeah,
because of me. And they have a book coming out called He Said, She Said.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's the owner, the husband and wife one that you told me about.
She's the CEO, and then he's like the artistic director. I don't remember. But they're amazing people. Yeah. Amazing creative. He did some artwork for my quartet back in 98. Yeah. No, 2002. And we just always have had a connection with him and his family and his quartet, and I love seeing what they're doing because I relate to it, and they're good at what they do. They're like you. I mean, they're a local little Lafayette company that has worldwide impact. Yeah. And so I want you to meet them so bad.
I will. Right? I will.
Well, and now they get to watch this podcast and they get to meet you.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what I love about it. And I think maybe we should get them on sometime.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun. Yeah, we're going to get into the remote guests soon. And we're testing out some stuff when we do the other podcasts. So I think we're going to go the same route.
I would love that. I'd love like our next guest to be from a phone or even a video at their house or something. That would be cool. Yeah. That's something we haven't done.
Yeah. And whoever that guest is going to be, a referral from somebody we already know.
Well, and the reason I want to do it as soon as possible is because, like I've said to you before, I don't want this to be a hyper-local podcast. This isn't I wish I didn't say New Braunfels or Comal County as often as I do, but that's where we live. Yeah. But I do want to be a podcast from a tiny little town that has international implications or impact, and because it can. And so I'm going to be seeking out more guests from outside of Texas and outside of the United States. That's a Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about that.
I don't
There's
even know
no
if
amount of
probably won't even
insulation.
be able to hear it by the time you edit it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That, I don't
it's
think you
been
can
a
hide
good run.
that.
I really enjoyed it. We do this on Saturdays, you know,
Mm-hmm.
so we wake up Saturday morning. We come down to, this is Todd's church's children's
The nursery,
nursery right now. We move all the toys out of the way so you can't see it. And, you know, we just shoot a couple with our friends. And it really does feel like just having coffee with them, except
Mm-hmm.
I almost never have coffee. You do today, but I just feel like I'm connecting with them.
It
And so
is.
that feeds my soul. And I love that. This is like my love project, you know. We don't have sponsors. We don't have a lot of money. We're just doing what we can with what we got, you know.
Yeah. And anyone could, you don't have to have an Austin to do this, and you don't have
lots
to
of people
have
doing it on their
expensive
own.
equipment. Yeah. It's just, it's feeding us more than we thought it would, probably. I mean, I don't think we knew what to expect.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's our tip for anybody looking to do their own podcast. You have a platform. You become a thought leader. You bring in people who have great ideas, stories, inspiration, whatever it is, whatever your topic is. And you have the ability to go further with it than you probably can just having one coffee at a time.
It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, Total Nonsense, the one we're going to be on, it's literally that.
Yeah.
They don't really know what it's about either.
Yeah.
And they joke around about that. It's like, we're just going to talk about stuff. Sometimes they talk about cars. Sometimes they talk about beer. Sometimes they talk about
They're going to have a
movies.
book author, I think. I'm not
Oh,
sure
cool.
when they're doing that one, so they get one of those. But yeah, very cool.
Awesome.
All right, well,
Is that enough?
yep. I hope you continue to watch our show or listen to it on all your favorite podcasts. Remember to like, subscribe, rate us. Anything that you know of that might help us grow it. You know.
Yeah, we would love to have more people listen and pull those nuggets like we are.
Yeah, and let us know if you want anybody on the show. And you know, we mention New Braunfels and Comal County all the time. So if you're in the area, you're passing through, you've never been here before, hit us up. We'd love to show you our town too. You know, if you want to see what we live. This is a great town. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's full. No one's allowed to move.
You can't
here.
move here. You could just pass through.
Everybody goes through that when their town starts to get bigger.
Yeah.
And I saw a meme on Facebook today. It was New Braunfels population full. It looks like
I
a street
love it.
sign. Population full.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You can't move here. Sorry.
It's not full though. It's not.
Yeah.
We'll just
All right.
grow.
Well, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.